Welcome to TradeTheNBI.com. This is John. This report is for the 13th. Yesterday saw modest action, holding above the 38%. That becomes your flip zone from a daily standpoint. At least below that, definitely is a short situation. NBI white still trailing the magenta, so that gives enough short. Forced cover situation that you can continue to propel things. You can see here in pre-market, it's having that similar effect, and of course the push is back towards that 54.20, which is the 50% range. DOC orange had made a move below the NBI red there. It was at minus 13.16 the other day. Currently starting out, we're already seeing potential rollover of NBI red. That would be interesting, particularly coming towards 50%. Would make it difficult. So that was really going to require some short cover to push that. NASDAQ even easier, just barely above the 38%. I think they've been trying to push towards this 18,956 previous algo level from back here in June. I think that's still the play that they're looking for. A failure, though, to get to it, and that's going to create some serious downside pressure. Treasuries reflect that money just doesn't really know what to do at this particular stage. You're sort of caught between a rock and a hard place. You got to be somewhere in cash as they liquidate. So treasuries obviously seem to be their safe haven, but from a yield standpoint, it's just a disaster. There's no correlation to inflation, and when it comes to inflation, all you do is look at this, and oil right back up to where it was. So I mean, this whole little short period dip didn't do a whole lot, and it's just going to reverberate back into costs. So you're not going to see probably any change in what otherwise would be inflationary costs. So certainly not a deflationary environment in any way, shape, or form. From EU holding up in a ridiculous zone, and going to be crazy with where oil is. The added problems with the incursion from Ukraine into Russian territory that's growing, and that could cause escalation. Of course, they're trying to draw the U.S. into a deeper conflict so that they can make sure they get the weaponry and stuff. And with an election situation, it's problematic. Nothing else is going to take place during this time period, so it's difficult. So, gold, yeah, that's been the trade for last couple of years now, because this inflationary cycle is not done. It's not stopping or slowing down. How long before Bitcoin and them start to take off in a serious way? Well, I think that we talked about this with the various supply situations. Obviously, miners being difficult if they're paying for electricity to meet the current needs, especially with the halving taking place and the fact that you had that increased supply situation from the Mt. Gox settlement stuff. It creates some problems within that space, and that's not unusual, but there's still the potential there for it. That's the 50K, of course, because my TS keeps going back in and out. You can see here we are in the post-market right now, and it's just all green here in the EU session right now. But if we go back to yesterday, yeah, started off the morning flat, and then right before the open just broke down, and then the pop starting out, so that affected options dramatically in between that play. And then you had your call option stuff come through. They whipped that all back down and forth, and again, I think that's the primary mover, and it's just part of what I think we're probably going to see a lot more of all the way going into up into the election, until there's a clearer idea. I mean, if there's a breakout, one person leads, and then the trade becomes clear. And once there's clarity for the market and they're certain, then they'll start jumping into the trade that fits the candidate, and that'll be the space to go to. So until then, no, we don't really care, because the readings are pretty straightforward for us as far as how things are playing out. So we'll just continue to follow the readings. We've been in this little cross section in the 50K for a little bit of time. When that flips and changes, we'll know it early. Same with the lower time frames. So continue to plug away. As always, anything relevant, I'll put it on the Skype chat for you. Have a good one. Trade well.